doing Pilates. All right, folks, let's get started. We're going to sit down either on the floor or if you prefer to sit on a little bit of a lift, a little block or a sofa, please go ahead, find something that's comfortable for you to sit cross-legged on. And we're going to focus on sitting up nice and tall, drawing our ribs towards our hips slightly, and don't forget your posture, chin to your chest, roll your shoulders back and down. And just to start off with, let's just do some big rolls with our shoulders, rolling them backwards, breathing in and out of your nose, curling the shoulders back and just loosening everything off. And then we're going to take a big breath in, reach the arms up, and as we breathe out, we're going to lean over to one side and take the arm up over as close to your ear as you can, and press the opposite hip down into the ground. Breathe in, grow up nice and tall, and then breathe out, come over to the other side. And again, breathe in, reach up, pull your shoulders back, breathe out, lean over, feel that nice stretch down the side of your body. Breathe in, reach up, breathe out, lean over. And the idea here is to get a little bit more into that range as you can. So each time you lean across, anchor the back of your opposite hip down into the ground as you lean away from it. Breathe in, one more each way. Reach up. Breathe out, coming across. Last one. Breathe in, reach up. Breathe out, coming across. Beautiful. Now reach up through the center. Now we're going to rotate. So we're going to turn to one side. One hand comes on the floor next to you. The other hand on the opposite knee, and look over your back shoulder. Breathe in, reach up through the center. Breathe out over to the other side. Turn your neck, look behind you. Breathe in, reach up. Breathe out, rotate. Big breath in, fill your lungs. Breathe out to rotate. And again, you're increasing your range each time you move. Turning your neck, turning through your spine, but keeping your hips nice and level. Breathe in, reach up. Breathe out to rotate. And we'll go one more each way. Breath in, breath out. Nice and tall through your spine. Lengthen through the back of your neck. Last one. Rotate. Beautiful. And then come back up through the center. And we're going to bring our hands down to the floor in front. And just slowly walk your hands forwards. Now when we're doing this one, we're aiming to keep our back nice and straight. So draw those shoulder blades back and down. Tuck your chin into your chest without dropping your head down too low. So keep lengthen through your spine. And see how far forwards you can get, keeping your back straight. Now when in this position here, breathe into your back so you can help those back muscles to relax off. And let's stay here for 3 more deep breaths. Breathe in through your nose, expand into your core. Breathe out of your nose and try to start drawing your core muscles in, just gently engaging through your pelvic floor. One more deep breath, go a little bit deeper. Breathing in and breathing out. And then bring yourself all the way up to sitting. We'll do the same and cross your legs the other way this time, just so we get to release the other hip a little bit more as well. So we bring our hands in front of us, keep the spine nice and straight, walk your fingers forwards, keeping that nice neutral spine, and then tuck your chin in as well. Lengthen through the back of your neck. Think of always lengthening through your posture, and draw your shoulders backwards. Breathe in to inflate into your core so you relax all those core muscles off. And then breathe out, gently sinking a little bit deeper into it. 2 more deep breaths here. Breathing in. And breathing out, deepen the stretch. 1 more. Breathe in, go a little bit deeper. And breathing out, sink a little further. Beautiful. And then walk your hands towards yourself. We're going to uncross our legs and come over onto our hands and knees now. Just for a moment, widen your knees so they're about the width of your mat, and bring your toes together. And then sink back onto your feet. Stretch your arms out in front of you, raise up onto your fingertips, and rest your forehead down onto the ground. So we're really active through the arms. We're getting a nice stretch under the shoulders. Excuse me. And again, let's just pause here for a moment and breathe into your back. Just getting that length and stretch through your spine. Starting to open out through your hips. And we'll take one more breath there to hold. And then we're going to walk our hands over to the right as far as you can go. Place your left hand on top of your right hand. And again, rest your head down onto the ground. And when we rest our head down, we're resting on the hairline of your forehead. So it just makes you tuck your chin into your chest a little bit. And again, in this position, we're breathing down into the lower left side of our back. So take a couple of breaths there and allow that area to release off. We start the class by relaxing the core muscles, and then we can work on contracting the core a little bit better, because if you're tight all through your back and your center, there's nowhere for it to go. You can't contract it very much. So let's release them off with our breathing. Now walk your hands through the center again, over to the left, right hand on top of left hand, head resting down between your arms again, and this time breathe down into that lower right side of your back. And you can even rest your hand on there and try to inflate that area to make sure you're able to relax those muscles. And then bring your hand back onto the opposite hand. Stay here for 2 more breaths, breathing in and out of your nose. Remember, your breath in is to expand and relax the core muscles, and your breath out too is to gently contract those core muscles in. Walk your hands back to the center. Come up onto all fours, bring your knees under your hips, your hands underneath your shoulders, and then let's arch the spine up. Bring your chin down. Let's go into our cat-cow. Into your arch, move through neutral, and then extend and look up and draw your shoulder blades back. Breathe out to neutral. Breathe in, flex your spine up. Breathe out to neutral. Breathe in to extend. So we're moving our spine through 2 ranges here. We're flexing the spine up and then we're extending it. So again, we want to increase the range through those 2 movements. You might start off feeling a little bit stiffer for the first couple of reps, but then you'll feel your body starting to loosen off. Let's do 2 more of those. Extending the spine, drawing the shoulders back and lengthening through the back of your neck. And then tucking your chin down and curling the tailbone under. We'll just do 2 more of those. Extending the spine and then flexing it back up again. Good, and then we're going to come all the way up. You make sure you've got a bit of padding under your right knee, and then step your left foot forward. So we're coming into our lunge position here. And we're having our hands either side of our foot. Now, when your hips are in the lunge position, coming down to the ground, you want to make sure your heel sits underneath your knee. Just be mindful that your foot isn't too far back and you're getting this position. We want to make sure our toes are a little bit beyond our knee at the front here. Both hands either side of the front leg. And we're going to come from our lunge position and move back into our hamstring stretch. Coming forwards into the lunge, and then back into the hamstring stretch. And pull your toes up as you do that. So it's a moving stretch, hip flexor, feel it through the front of your right hip. And then as you move back, you'll feel it all the way through the back of the left leg. So here again, we breathe in, and we breathe out. Just keep moving a little bit deeper into each position. And see if we can loosen off those hips a little bit more. Keep your back as straight as you can. So if you're finding it difficult to keep your back straight with your hands on the ground, maybe you can bring your hands onto your hips and just work a little bit higher up here. But try and keep your back straight. Let's do 2 more of those. Coming into the hip flexor, and then back to the hamstring. And this one we're going to stay forward in the hip flexor stretch. And for a moment, we're going to lift our hands off the ground and raise them up to the ceiling. Extend through your back. Sink your hips down towards the ground. Lift the arms up, draw your shoulders back and down, and stay here for 3 more deep breaths. Breathing in and out of your nose. Looking up slightly without dropping the head back too far. Now when we bring our hands back down, we're going to have our hands on the inside of that front leg. So both hands on the inside of the front leg. We're going to push away from the floor through your supporting side and extend the other arm up to the ceiling. Be careful here that you're not punching into this shoulder. So we want to push away from the floor and draw that shoulder blade back. Turn your neck, look up to the ceiling. And then we bring our arm back down to the ground and then do the same to the other side. Rotate away. Breathe in to lift and open your back. Breathe out, come back down again. Same to the first side. Breathe in, rotate up, turn your neck. Breathe out, come back down again. And again, each time you rotate, you're going that little bit deeper into the movement. Sinking your hips forwards, turning through your back, and opening through your chest. Let's do one more of those each way. Breathe in, rotate up. Breathe out, rotate back down. Breathe in, rotate up. Breathe out, back down. Now, let's walk our hands back towards our back knee and straighten out that front leg. So have your heel in front of your hip, pull your toes up towards yourself, and open out the back of that knee. See if you can keep your back straight again. So lift your chest, draw your shoulders back, tuck your chin in. Practice your breathing. So practice the breathing to expand the back. And as you breathe out, gently contract into the core. Breathing in to expand. Breathing out to gently draw in. So stay here for 2 more breaths and go a little bit deeper if you can. Straightening that leg out a little bit more. Think of lengthening your heel forwards as you lengthen the back of the hip back. So you're getting that length out of the back of the leg. And then we're going to come up and turn side on. So we're going to have our left leg still on the stretch, taking it out to the side. We're going to point your toes forwards and press the outside edge of your foot to the ground. Now, first of all, we want to work at the level of your hip. So be careful your hip isn't sitting up high on that left side. Bring it down to level and then hinge yourself forwards. You might slide that leg a little further out. You can either stay on your hands or drop down onto your elbows. But again, here we're holding the stretch and feeling it all the way through the inside of that thigh. Breathe in and out of your nose and just let your body relax. Tuck your chin in. Draw your shoulder blades away from your ears. Practice your core contraction. 2 more. Deepen the stretch if you can. Last deep breath. And then we're just going to come back into your child pose. Have a moment to relax. Sit down onto your heels and take a couple of deep breaths there just to release out through your hips. And then when you're ready, we'll come up on the other side. So you kneel on the left knee this time. Step your right foot forwards, both hands either side of your foot at the front. Check your leg position, so knee in line with your heel, toes a little bit beyond that. And sink your hips down. And then we lunge backwards, get the hamstring stretch. And then we come forwards to get the hip flexor stretch. So you want to feel this through the pelvis. It's going to open out both the front and the back of the pelvis. So we want to increase that range again in both directions. And just listen to your body. Might be a little bit stiffer at first, but as you move deeper into each movement, you're going to feel your body loosening off and feeling much better. Breathe in and breathe out. Lengthen through your heel, lengthen through the back of your hip and pull your toes up towards yourself. Press open through the back of that knee. Keep your back as straight as you can. We'll go 2 more of those. Breathe in, come forwards. Breathe out, push back. Breathe in, come forwards. Let's stay forwards now this time. And we're going to start to raise our hands off the ground. Raise the arms to the ceiling. Extend through your back slightly as you sink your hips down. And draw your shoulder blades down your back. Take 3 more deep breaths here. Breathe in and out of your nose. Just relax, let your body release. And don't forget this one, we're coming down on the inside of the leg. Both hands on the inside of the leg, face away from your knee, and extend the arm up to the ceiling. Bring the arm back down to the ground. Breathe in, rotate to face your leg again. Open your chest. Breathe out, come back down again. Keep doing that, and each time turning a little bit more, rotating through your neck as well, and sinking a little deeper into your hips. Slowly back down. Breathe in to rotate. Breathe out, come back down, and last one. Breathe in to rotate. Breathe out, come back down. Now walk your hands to your back knee, straighten out your front leg. Make sure that heel is sitting directly in front of your hip and your back is as straight as you can keep it. And then hold this position here, pull your toes up, see if you can even reach your toes. Can you touch them? Can you monitor if your flexibility is improving by how far you can bring your chest down and draw your toes up? Tuck your chin in. Draw your shoulder blades back and down. Practice your breathing with your core contraction and relaxation. And let's stay here for another 3 deep breaths. Every time you breathe out, come a little bit deeper into the move. So I say move, it is a static stretch, but we're moving just a little bit, just going a little bit further, deepening the stretch. One more breath. Good work. And then we take that leg out to the side. So we're going to kneel on our left knee still, right leg out to the side, toes pointing forward, outside edge of your foot pressing down to the ground. Think of your hip level first. So lower that right hip down, come forward into either a straight arm plank or down onto your elbows. You pick which is going to work for you today. Slide your leg a little bit further away if you can. And again, set your upper body up, always being conscious of how you hold yourself posturally. Chin to chest, shoulders drawing back. Lift your chest up away from the floor just slightly so you're really getting some engagement through the shoulders, through the middle back. And pull your belly up inside. Let's just stay here for 2 more deep breaths. Breathe in and out of your nose. And then we come back into our child pose and just briefly release out through your hips. Tuck your chin in, rest on the hairline of your forehead, raise up onto your fingers, active through your arms. Good work. All right, now come up onto your hands, up onto your knees, have your wrists directly under your shoulders with your arms straight, but without locking out the elbow joint. So straight arms, we're lifting away from the floor and pulling those shoulder blades away from your ears. Same through your hips as well. Think of lifting up out of your hip sockets and keeping your spine nice and neutral as well. We're going to work around the body 1 limb at a time. So we're going to breathe in to raise the left arm up and then breathe out to bring it back down. Now we're holding your core contraction in the whole time. Breathe in, right arm comes up. Breathe out, back down. With your leg, we slide the leg back. We lift it to the height of your hip. We lower the toes down and then slide the knee back in. Maintain upper body position as well. Slide the other leg out. Lift it up to the height of your hip. Lower the toes down. Bring the knee back in underneath you. So as we're doing this, work around the body 1 limb at a time as you lift and lower that limb. Make sure everything in the middle stays still. So if your core is contracted and it's stabilizing you, the spine should not move around. So don't lift the arm and the leg too high, just to the height of your body. Maintain a neutral spine. Breathe in to raise. Breathe out to lower. Breathe in to raise. Breathe out to lower. Now you can keep working around your body 1 limb at a time, but if you're ready, maybe you can do your opposite arm and leg at the same time. But again, maintain your position through the center of your body. Lift away from the floor, Breathe in to raise. Breathe out to lower. Breathe in to raise. Breathe out to lower. Keep that going. Now we're going to do another little add-in here. So we raise the opposite arm and leg away from each other. We then bring the elbow to the knee and arch your back up in the middle. Find your balance. Extend that same arm and leg back away. Return it down to the ground. Breathe in to extend. Breathe out to flex your spine, elbow to knee. Breathe in to extend. Breathe out to lower. Keep that going. Breathe in. Breathe out. Scoop the belly in. Breathe in. Breathe out. Alternating your arm and leg each time. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more on each side. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in. Breath out. And the last one. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in. And a breath out. Now come back into your child pose. Sit yourself down. Stretch your arms forward. Take 2 deep breaths into your back. Beautiful. Good. Bring yourself around to lie on your back now. So now we're coming into neutral spine on your back. Have your heels in nice and close to the back of your hips and have your feet hip width apart. And we're just going to start off first of all by rocking your pelvis. We're going to rock the pelvis forward and backwards from the tailbone into the arch of your lower back. So just gently loosening off through the lower portion of your back and starting to coordinate the curl with your core contraction. So when we press our tailbone down, we breathe in and relax the core. And when we curl into the lower back, we contract and breathe out. Breathe in to relax to the tailbone. Breathe out to contract into the lower back. Breathe in, relax. Breathe out, contract. Now keep that going. Press your feet firmly into the ground. Think of the tripod points on your feet evenly pressing into the ground. And the next time you curl into the arch of your back, you start to roll all the way up. When we get to the top here, watch you don't go too far. This is overextending. So we don't want to do that. We don't want to push the ribs forwards. We don't want this overextension of your spine. We want to think of ribs coming down to your hips. You get that lengthening effect through the front of your body instead. When we get to the top, we then place the spine back down, one vertebra at a time. And when we get to the bottom, turn your tailbone down and breathe in to relax. Breathe out, contract your core in, roll back up again. This time, breathe in, raise your arms above your head. Leave them on the floor behind. Breathe out, roll your spine back down in stages. Breathe in, return your arms back to your hips. Breathe out, roll the hips up, one vertebra at a time, lifting. Breathe in, raise your arms above your head. Breathe out, roll your spine back down. Draw your chin to your chest, lengthen your neck along the floor behind you. So we're opening the spine up, we're switching all the muscles on through the back of the body as well. Raise the arms up, draw the chin in and roll the spine slowly back down. Bring the arms back to your hips. This time roll the spine up, we're going to stay up there. So we're going to start to really focus on switching our glutes on. Keep your neutral spine, so ribs to hips, chin to chest. Arms can either be by your sides, but gives you a little bit of support through your core. If you want to make it harder on your core, you can take your arms above your head and leave them there. So you pick which level suits you today. And then we're going to dip the hips down and push straight back up and hold. We're not rolling the spine this time. We're just dipping the hips in the middle, pushing back up and holding. And try to feel your glutes, so your bottom muscles on both sides, working evenly. So feel if you're favoring one side over the other. It's quite common to have a stronger side than the other, so try to get that activation through your feet into both glutes as you lift and lower. Breathe in to dip down, breathe out to lift up. Breathing in to dip down, breathe
breathe out to lift up. Let's do 4 more of those. And 3. And 2. And on our last one, we'll stay up at the top. Lift the hips up, press the feet down, lengthen your knees forward as if you're extending out of your hip sockets. Be aware if your knees are veering out to the side or in towards each other. Try to think of lengthening forwards out of the front of the body as you contract all through the back of the body. Now I suggest you bring your arms back down to your sides. We're going to increase this now by starting to shift the weight off one side of the body. But the aim here is to stay as centered as possible. So draw your core in to keep you centered. We're going to lift one heel off the ground, place it back down again. Lift the other heel off the ground, place it back down again. So the foot that stays flat, make that your primary focus, that it stays pressing into the ground. You get some activation through the side that's supporting you before you lift the other heel off the ground. So we're just heel raising. Keep the hips up. Keep your chin to your chest and your shoulders relaxed. You can stick with this as your level, or you can make it harder by coming into a single tabletop. So this is much harder, so you need to keep your hips lifted. Keep them level. If this is too hard for you and you feel your pelvis drops off to the side, then just stick with the heel raises instead. And alternate your legs. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Place your foot back down. Roll your spine down into the ground. And get to the bottom, hug your knees into your chest. And just do some little lower back flexions. Curl the knees in, lift your tailbone up, and press your tailbone back down again. Let go of your left leg, hug your right knee in. Lift your head and shoulders up. Bring the shoulder as close to your knee as you can get it. Rest your head down, extend your leg to the ceiling, flex your foot, hug it in as close as you can. And then with your core pulled in, slowly lower that leg down to the ground. So don't let the belly rise as you lower the straight leg. Breathe in, left knee comes in. Breathe out, lift your head and shoulders up. Breathe in, head down, leg extends to the ceiling. And breathe out, lower the leg slowly down. Let's keep that going. Breathe in, right knee comes in. Breathe out, lift the head and shoulders up. Breathe in, head down, leg extends, draw it in towards you, increase the stretch. And breathe out, lower the leg down. Ribs to hips, belly contracted. Breath in, left knee comes in. Breath out, lift the head and shoulders up. Breath in, head down, leg extends to the ceiling. Breath out and lower the leg down. We'll just do one more on each side. We're bringing the abs in here, chin to chest, ribs to hips. Rest the head down, get a stronger stretch if you can on the leg. Core contracted as you lower the leg down. One more time. Breath in, knee comes in. Breath out, lift the head and shoulders. Breath in, head down, leg extends up. And a breath out, lower your legs slowly down. And we'll bend our knees both up to the ceiling, take them wide apart, take your arms out wide as well, and let's loosen off through your back, side to side with the knees. Side to side. Breathe in to rotate. Breathe out, draw the legs back to the center. Push the inside of that top leg down so it opens out through the front of your hip a little bit. So we're loosening the back, loosening the hips, coordinating our movement with our breathing. When we get to the center, let's bring our legs together, ankles and knees touching. Top leg rolls on top of the bottom leg, turn your neck in the other direction, and draw your knees and your nose back to center. Breathe in to rotate, breathe out back to center. Keep that going, side to side. One more each way. Breathe in, rotate. Breathe out, back to center. Breathe in, rotate. Breathe out, back to center. Good. Separate your feet hip width apart. Bring your fingers on the inside of your hip bones. So just feel those bones at the front. Drop your fingers off the inside and just feel the fleshy part in between the two fingers. Big inhalation, feel the belly expand. And then as you breathe out, gently contracting those core muscles. So think of the sensation of stopping yourself, going to the toilet mid-flow. So those pelvic floor muscles are engaging. Then we'll come into our single tabletops. One leg at a time, lifting and lowering, just putting a little bit of load into those core muscles. So your primary focus is to maintain the core contraction and keep a neutral spine. So be aware if you lift your leg up that the back doesn't flatten down, and as you place your foot down, the back doesn't arch off. So nice and neutral and stable through the center of your body. We can increase the load coming into a tabletop, extending the leg forwards, back to the tabletop and then back down to the ground. Alternate the legs, extend the leg to about the height of the knee on the other sides. And as you straighten your leg out, again, you feel that your belly wants to lift a little bit. So draw the belly in, ribs to the hips. Single tabletop, extend out, back to tabletop and back down again. Keep that going. We'll just do a couple more of those on each side. Relax your shoulders, tuck your chin into your chest. And we'll do one more each side. Nice and still through the pelvis, no rocking side to side or flattening of your back. Then on this right leg, next time you're on your right leg, let's extend it up to the ceiling, flex your foot. Lower that straight leg down, point your toes, raise the straight leg up, flex your foot. Lower the straight leg down, point your toes, raise it back up, flex and lower, point and raise. Breathe in, flex and lower. Breathe out, point and raise. Just do two more of those. Again, ribs to hips, belly contracted. And the next time you lift your leg up above your hip, we'll go out to the sides, back into the midline. Out to the sides, back into the midline. Again, this is about core stability. So check your left knee isn't dropping out to the side to counterbalance you. And also check you're not pushing with your elbows to help you. See if you can do this with your arms extended up to the ceiling. And feel the difference if you're using your core or using your arms. And then we'll change it into a circle. Take the leg out to the side, sweep it around in front, and then back up through the center. Single leg circles, out to the sides, back up through the center. Point your toes, out, turn your thighs slightly, so you're really extending out of the hip socket. And then change your direction, down to the floor, out to the sides, back around. Pelvic stability. Two more circles. One more. And then place your foot down on the ground, reset your core. Breath in, expand. Breath out, contract your core. Single tabletop. Extend the leg forwards. Flex your foot. Breathe in, lower the leg down. Point your toes. Breathe out, raise the leg back up. Flex and lower. Point and raise. Breathe in, flex and lower. Breathe out, point and raise. Keep that going. Maintain neutral. Keep that core pulled in. Relax your upper body. And don't forget to breathe. Just keep breathing. It's always helpful. Now out to the side. Go away from the body. Back into the midline. So as you do this, your body wants to counterbalance itself with the other leg. So don't let that happen. Make sure it's your core building strength to give you that support and stability. Turn it into a circle. Go out wide. Down in front. Sweep it around. Back up through the center. Out to the side, all the way around, back up through the center. Long leg, point your toes, extend out of the hip socket. Especially if you're getting any clunking sensation in the hip, you may have a tight tendon in your hip. So really extend out of the leg. Make your circle a little smaller if that is happening. Then change the direction. Just do 3 more in this direction. Hips staying still, shoulders relaxed. Tuck your chin into your chest. And then return that leg back down. Reset the core, breath in, expand. Breath out, contract, single tabletop, double tabletop. Let's toe tap down. 1 foot down, come up and hold. You can keep your foot really close to the back of your hip to make it easier, or you can extend your leg further out in front of you to load up those core muscles more. So again, maintain your core contraction, load yourself up as much as you can handle, but make sure you always have good technique. Stop and start if you need to take a break. And 4. And 3. Relax your shoulders. 2. And 1. And then come back to tabletop. Hold it here. This is a bit of a tricky one. We're going to go into helicopters. People love this one because it's so easy to do. Not. Coordination with this one. So we do a scissor action and a scissor. And then we move the legs away from each other and then we swap them around like helicopter blades. Scissor, scissor, maintain this contraction in your core, out and around. You can do it with straight legs too. Scissor, scissor, out and around. Scissor, scissor, out and around. This is homework one. Scissor, scissor, out and around. Last one. Scissor, scissor, out and around. Beautiful. Hug the knees in. Massage out your back. Rock side to side. Take some circles through your back. Beautiful. And then roll yourself up to sit in. All right, let's do one more. We're going to go into our spinal stretch to finish off with here. So we're going to have our legs straight out in front, flex your feet, move your feet apart as well, hip width, and sit up really tall. And this in itself, just sitting up tall with a straight back and straight legs, it's actually pretty challenging. So for some of you, you might want to sit up on a little block or a cushion if you've got one at hand. Lifting your hips up a little bit might ease it out of your back. But we're looking for that nice length out of your spine rather than sitting in this rounded position. So make that your priority first. It helps to have your hands by your hips, lift up out of your spine. So from here, we're going to raise our arms up, put the hands behind your head, and then curl your spine forward. It's like you're rounding your back. And breathe into your middle back here. Just take a couple of deep breaths here. Breathing in and out of your nose. And we extend our arms out in front of us and then roll up to sitting again. Good. And then place your hands behind your head. Round the spine forwards. Big deep breath. Extend the arms forwards. And then raise back up again. Relax your arms down by your sides. Let's take some deep breaths to finish off with. Big breath in. Reach up to the ceiling. Breathe out, come back down again. And again, breathe in, reach up. Inflate your lungs. Breathe out, come back down again. Last one. Big breath in, reach up. Breathe out, come back down. Good work, folks. Thank you so much for joining me. It's so nice to see you online, even when you can't meet in person. Thank you for coming.